divine. The soul is
ndị ọ na-emetụta ka obodo wee dị mma ma ụmụ agbọghọ kịta ha na-achọzi akakwukwe ambassador onye ime ama onye a bụ onye isi ndị Heroine Women Foundation, ndị women support women, ifo na ọnụ na-ekwuru ọha ka ọ bụ ambassador onye anyị na-asị gị nnọọ na nke izu a. Dịka o nwee ihe unu na-asị mmasị na unu na-azụ ya azọ, o nwee ihe unu na-asị ana ga-emelu ọ bụrụ ndị oyibo asị na reserved seat.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories.
every heartbeat that keeps going. It asks for more than food and fame. It hungers for meaning, for stillness, for the divine. The soul is where music is born, where peace begins, where truth hides. The soul is part of us that survives every storm. You can't see it, but you can feel it in silence, in longing, in every heartbeat that keeps going. It asks for more than food and fame. It hungers for meaning, where peace begins, where truth hides. To care for your soul is the greatest act of self-love. For in the end, what we were fades, but what we are at our core remains. Sex is sacred, not shameful. In its truest form, it is more than the body. It is soul speaking to soul, fire woven with trust, vulnerability clothed in consent. But when misused, it breaks more than bodies, it fractures spirits. That is why it must be approached with reverence, not recklessness. Let us teach to love before lust, connection before conquest. For when sex is honored, it becomes not just pleasure, but poetry.
dịrị gị bụ onye ọma na-ekiri anyị nkịta. Abụ m Ngozi Ọtahumele, ọkwa na Aneke TV ka anyị bata ka anyị kpaa nkata dịka anyị si eme, maka na ọ na-abụ onwe ka o si wee dịlụ ndị nne nwaanyị, ụmụ nwaanyị ndị ọ na-emetụta ka obodo wee dị mma, ma ụmụ agbọghọ kịta ha na-achọzi otu e ga-esi wee dozibe anyị, maka na ihe a na-afụ kịta dị ka ọ ga-abụ na asịakwa m na ndị nke ọzọ na ha emego ka anyị taa, anyị adakwa n'aka ha. Ha ka kwụkwa ebe ha kwụ, mana o nwee ka ọ ga-abụ ene na-eketa ihe okwe ha ọgụ ga-asị ka ama na onye nke ọzọ nọ n'akụkụ ya a ga-emete karịa onye ahụ. Asịakwa m na ụmụ nwoke ada emete ọfụma, ha na-emetekwa ọfụma, mana ihe anyị na-eji nne n'anya na ya bụ oche a ụmụ nwaanyị si ka enyetụ kene ha ụfọdụ, na ụmụ ụfọdụ ọ ga-abịa enye ụmụ nwaanyị ha emenarịa ndị na-emebu mee ya ka ọ dị mma, maka na ụmụ nwaanyị ma edozi ihe. Onye mụ na ya na-eji ịkpa nkata na nke tata bụ ọnụ ahụ na-ekwulu ọra, ọ da ekwulu so ụmụ nwaanyị, ọ na-ekwulu ma ụmụ nwoke ma nwata ma okenye. Onye ka m na-ekwu maka ya? O wee bụrụ ambasadọ onye mama. Ambasadọ onye mama onye a bụ onye isi ndị Heroine Women Foundation, bụrụkwa onye isi ndị Women Support Women. Ife ọ n'ọnụ na-ekwulu ọha ka ọ bụ ambasadọ onye, anyị na-asị gị nnọọ na nke izu a. Dịka m si wee kwuo, o nwee ihe unu na-asị, mmasị na unu na-azị ya azọ. O nwee ihe unu na-asị ana ga-emelu unu, ọ bụrụ ndị oyibo asị na reserved seat. Mụnwa na-eje ha akwụkwọ jelu nke mgbede amaghị ihe bụ reserved seat, mana ihe mma na seat bụ oche. Kedu ihe ọ pụtara ka onye na-enene na-aghọtara ihe a na-ekwu mala ebe a na-aga?
Ka anyị kọwaa ya ka o wee nwee nghọta dụtụ iche. Idesela anyị oche pụrụ iche, special seat ka a na-akpụ ya, ma reserved seat, bụ na anyị enenego mgbe niile military chịrị ọchịchị chịcha, asị na ọ ya bụ nọ maka na military ndị amị mee na anyị nwere nketa dịka ụmụ nwanyị na space adịrọ. Anyị abatazie na demokrasi, ihe a bụ 24 years anyị ji n'ọnụ ọchịchị. Mmadụ ekwu, mmadụ ya etinye, mmadụ ya emetapụ. Anyị na-enekwa anya ka e nwee nnabata ụmụ nwanyị n'ọnụ dị iche. Ọ bụrụkwa ihe ife arụ n'ọchịchị anyị. Ụmụ nwaanyị wee tụlecha, nelecha anya wee sị kedu otu ọzọ anyị ga-esi mee ihe a ọ dị mma. Anyị bido kwuo okwu, na-etigbu, na-eme megide, mana nke maazị mma bụ na nso a wee sị na a ga-eme Constitution Review of 1999. Ka a na-emezi Constitution Review ahụ, a wee fụ section 48, fụ section 49, fụ section 71, fụ section 117, fụ section 91. Section ndị ahụ niile bụ section na-akọwata na ama nwe gender discrimination n'ọchịchị. N'ihe ọbụla kpatalụ si na-achị n'ọchịchị, na onye ị na-achị nwere ọnụ, nwere ka o si akpị ya ịma nke ya wee kwuo. O wee bụrụ ya bụ gịnị? Na ụmụ nwaanyị kwesịrị itinye ọnụ n'ihe gbasara ọchịchị obodo. Kedu ihe nwaanyị ga-eji tinye ọnụ? Nwaanyị na-achịdo nwa, chido di, chido ezinụlọ, chido ụlọ ụka, chido association, chido meeting, chido ụlọ ọrụ ya. Abịakwazie n'ọchịchịkwa, ha sị mba nwaanyị jee nọlụ ka ha na-afịa anya si anụ n'onu ya. Ọ dị ka ife aghụghọ. So ya bụ constitution wee nenechesi wee tụpụtacha nya ụmụ kirikiri ife melụkọ ya bụ constitution na ọ dịrọ mma, wee kpọọ onye gender discrimination. Wee sị mba na a ga-enwezi nkewapụta ebe ọ bụ na constitution anyị afụchago ụmụ ihe ekwesị imezi. Ọ bụrụ ndị si oyibo asị na lacuna in the constitution, emezi enye a wee rọbata ụmụ nwaanyị n'ọchịchị. A wee sị ịrọbata dị ha ọ dị izi. Beijing Conference since 1991, ma nke 1930 something, ma nke SIDA, ma nke VAO, ma nke UNSRCR, ruo tata fancha niile ekposelu. And ife na-atụ ụjọ na convention niile anyị na-eso na ndị izi nya Nigeria, anyị na-eso na ndị izi na-abụ ewepụta ha na ya sign ya so na ọmaka, mana anyị na-agba last n'ime gịnị, n'ime eme. anyị wesi oke ebe ọ bụ na anyị na-etinye ọnụ na convention soluje solugo ọgba keduzie otu ọzọ asị oke ka emezie ka ọ bụrụ gịnị oche ya adị ya bụ na ya bụ oche onwere nwoke dị qualified ịzọ n'oche ịtọ ahụ
ọ bụrụ sọ
nwaanyị ọ ya dị oche ịtọ the House of Representatives, that's state and federal, and the Senate, a total of 108. Ife solo na azọ bulu nwoke made qualified, made not qualified, oche ịtọ mbụ nke ụmụ nwaanyị. Mana nya bụ oche ịtọ bụ sọsọ 16 years ka ọ ya anọ. Akatọkwa ya review ya 4 election cycles. Maka na anya asịrọ nye na permanent oche ịtọ ka anyị chirizie gaba na nke anyị mba.
Ka ekwenye unu ji wee sị na ọ naanị arọ 16 ka ọ ga-adị. Ọ pụta na arọ 16 ahụ unu neneche anya anyị unu meta ọfụma unu asị unu mba.
Si nwa anyị ịma na onye settle exam jizi aka asị nwa mụ na nke a ma edetezi enyezina m. Maka na ọ bụ na anyị sị fafanya anyị 4 years fanya aṅụrị na very soon for na anyị sị fanya anyị 2 tenors for aṅụrị ya mana ife nwa megidelu gosi ya secondary school which is the age of 16 ịkpọ nwa ahụ obere nwa ọ ya akpali gị ama ka arọ ne iji tụ ya ọ ife anyị ji wee sị ka anyị prove onwe anyị na ụnụ nye anyị 16 ya nwa gosi na nọzụrụ gogide gụkwado secondary school isi a na o nwebere ihe ọfụ ọ kpalịa gị nwa azọwazi onwe gị azọ. Ọ bụ na anyị mechezie 16 years ahụ Nigeria niile agbakọkwa tụlee ụmụ nwaanyị a niile enyelụ oche famela ọfụma feme karịa femelụ onda ya femelụrọ ka esi che etinyekwu anya and ọtụtụ ihe ka a na-ereview kwa na that constitution kamara ihe nke anyị nwa jidela ọdụ bụ na otegị anyị na-agụ na-agba enene chakwa state creation, enene police reform, enene electoral reform for youth. Too many ihe na ka ekpopụta na nya bụ constitution na-etinyezi anya na-emezi mana nke ụmụ anyị ji daa ụda bụ na ịma na ife nwaanyị bido ọ na-emelu ya n'isi o wee na-ada ụda n'ụwa niile a na-anụ onu anyị mụnwa bụ mmadụ na organization na ndị niile dị in charge of South East Zone anyị si from governor male advocacy to the last man ma NUJ so anyị n'ọlụ anyị na-asị onye ọbụla pụta tinye ọnụ si nwalee ụmụ nwaanyị na-eme aka nwaanyị ishu koi malụ na na-afụ ụfụ ị na-asị ya na onwe ka o si aga I know is paining you mba you don't know is paining her maka ihie o jiri aka akọwalụ gị nọ n'isi ụkwụ ma ọ n'obere ụkwụ gbaki ya maka o si epenye ọ gwụchakwa anya bụ ife anyị na-ekwu na RSWB
oche taa unu na-ana ka oche dị aṅa na aṅa ka abịa kịta anụnwa a na-enye ọkwa asị na onye ga-abụ kọmishọna for gender ga-abụ nwaanyị nwoke ama nọ na ya ụdị oche a ka unu na-ana ya bụ nke ọ ga-abụ nke na-enete naanị ụmụ nwaanyị ọnya ka unu na-ana
ife gbasara anyị n'ife anụnwa anyị na-ayọ na nwere ife gbasara anyị with appointed positions gịnị bụ appointed ya na gọvanọ winile ọchịchị o jee rọta ụmụ nwaanyị 100 anyị achọrọ nke ndị like rọta anyị chọrọ nke voturu nwaanyị in that is why we said elected positions 4 cycles for 16 years ya otu esi atụrụ nwoke so onye ya apụta onye a na-afụ iru ebe a bụ iru nwaanyị which means onwegodu nwoke na-atụla ọ na-atụlụ gị because na ịdị capable and ịdị credible for that position as nwaanyị mana nke ọbụla bụ etetụla asị mmadụ ya bịa na gọvanọ si na ọ ya lụnwe ife mba anyị chọzi nke ebele ma nke favor anyị chọọ nke onye tozu ya ma enye
mana ị na-anya n'ọchịchị Naịjirịa dịka ụmụ nwoke si ekwu ọ dịka na ụmụ nwaanyị etolutebe ha pasịtabe ọ dịghị ka ụmụ nwaanyị Naịjirịa maka ihu na-azọ bụ Naịjirịa niile ọ bụ naanị n'Enugu steeti ihu na-azọ bụ Naịjirịa niile ọ dịka ụmụ nwaanyị etolutego ọ bụrụ onye nwọsị na onwe ngabasị ọ dịka ụmụ nwaanyị etolutego arapụrụ ha emenwu otu ụmụ nwoke si eme maka inene demokrasi anyị dịka isi wee kwuo ọtụtụ arọ ọ nọrọ ụmụ nwaanyị ọ dị ka ha etolutego ime maka sinsi asị ha nọ n'akụkụ nke ọzọ ha pụtakwana enye ha ohere ha ga-emenwu ya
ịmakwana ọ bụrụ na anyị nwere ọtụtụ oge a wee ngụ ọlụ ga-afọ ụmụ nwaanyị ngụkata isi m ka anyị mechie nwere nwaanyị I see na local government. Nya ma nwaanyị amara asụ English mana ọ na-eji Igbo chie ọchịchị machido. Well, August meeting, for example, well, association, for example, well, CWO, for example. Iwe gbada tawa, we gubu ụmụ nwaanyị dịka ọbịa eze kwesịrị. Go country wala meligide meligbado ndị ọcha niile bụrụ number 1 na World Trade Organization. Aya go na alone. Igo ọjọọ ya ezilofa. Igo ebere ife ndofa. Ịmakwa na Senate Committee bịala ọlụ zonal public hearing. Ịmana nwaanyị na-abọ na that committee as consultant ụmụ nwoke.
Ya bụ na ụmụ nwaanyị nwere ihe ha ga-eji wee lụ nwa ọlụ a ụlọ na asịsị ya ụlọ ohere.
Ịma ihe anyị nwere abụghị just na anyị nwere onwe anyị. Ife dị anyị n'isi. Maka mụọ bụ mmadụ abago n'ime jee gwa onwe m eziokwu. Anyị na-azọ ihe a ka ha wee fụ anyị ka anyị na-azọ ihe a na onwe ha anyị ga-emenwu. Wee chọpụta na maka di gị anwe na ego ma ọ mara ihe onwe ihe ọ ga-achị ma ọ sịghị na-ebịa kene ka inye kenye advice. You will notice something. Unwenuru okwu igwe adigi well on efel. Eziokwu ka asị.
Eziokwu dị.
Ayaya. Otu a ka ọ dị nwaanyị pụtazi iwe na-asị ya na ọmakwa na community a na obodo a na chọọchị enwere ụzọ fasi agafe. Onwere onye aka nwaanyị ghọta ya. Onwere onye aka nwaanyị ghọta na ụmụazị eliro nri na poverty. Bunya bụ number 1 thing any government ya fight. Oya afia nwaanyị arụ nghọta. Onwere nwaanyị ya asị na ya ma nghọta na nwatakịrị ejero school for 1 term. Letikwazi na ụdịrị ụmụ nwaanyị maka enwere ụdịrị ụmụ nwaanyị nwekwazi ụmụ nwaanyị. Mana ihe na-ekwu bụ ụmụ nwaanyị bụ nwaanyị bụ nne.
Gbam.
Mmadụ na-abụ nne si n'ụwa bịaba. Even as a child, ụmụ obele nwa ya bụ na-eme omume asị ọ na-eme ka mama.
Na-eme ka mma nnukwu.
A na-ebu nne na mmụọ abịa ụwa. So na nwaanyị ọbụla ya chi ọchịchị abụrụ nwaanyị anyị abịa na-agụ ọrụ egwu ọba isi ọ nwaanyị ga-abụ na-anya fụ na ndị abịakwa egwu a fanchi nwerekwa nke yi ezigbo akwa fatachakwa arụ fanidi fashu falekacha eleka onye bụ ife ji amụ ezigbo nwaanyị na-enetu anya na-ama na there is need. Ọ bụrụ ọchịchị ije yiwe akwa yiwe gold, of course you can wear gold, mana before you na-eyi every gold ị ga-eyi ihe na make sure na onye nọ na-akụrụ ada ọ da-achọ 1 cup of rice. Maka onye I will continue to say it. Government ọbụla that does not tackle poverty ka na-egwu egwu maka na onye dị ndụ ya enjoy.
Gbam.
Ife dị mma.
Eziokwu dị na ya. Gị bụ onye ọma na-esonyela anyị. Chetakwa na ihe anyị na-ene anya bụ oche a ụmụ nwaanyị na-asịsị nye ha nke a onwe nke ha na-ana onwe ihe ha ji analụ nke a. Ọ bụrụ na ị gelụ ntị n'ihe onye ime amakwu ị ga-afụ ebe ha na-aga. Ha dasị nye ha oche na achọrọ inye ha oche ma ọ sị nye ha onwe ihe ha chọrọ iwebata n'obodo ka obodo wee dị mma. Anyị gbatịa ụkwụ ọ bụrụ na anyị gbatịa ụkwụ anyị chigha azụ anyị na-aga n'ihu. Ama m na ịka na-esonyela anyị na nkata anyị na-akpa oche ụmụ nwaanyị si nye ha ka ha mma na ha ga-etinye oke nke ha ka obodo anyị wee dị mma. Anyị asịkwa na obodo anyị mebiri emebio kama a sị na ọ ka ọ dịkwuo mma maka na ụmụ nwaanyị nwere ihe eji edozi ihe dịka onye ukwu. Ọ bụrụ na nwaanyị ga-emenwu ihe ọga echetara m n'Ọgọst meeting ọtụtụ ụlọ ụka kịta na-alụ ebe fada bi ụmụ nwaanyị. Ọtụtụ ụlọ ụka n'Ọgọst meeting ha ka ha na-echeta na parish anyị a na o kwesịgo ka edozie ya ọ ihe ụmụ nwaanyị na-alụ dịka isi wee kwuo. Mana ihe ọzọ nchọ ịjụ bụ ọ dị ka ụmụ nwoke a ga-ekwe ka unu mee ya n'ụdị ihe anyị na-afụ n'obodo anyị.
Okay, nke bụ eziokwu bụ na o nwere ije mmadụ bunite ejebe enwere ife ọya afụ n'ụzọ opekata mpe daa pothole mana ihe afụ ya n'ụzọ gosi na ị na-eje ije. Anyị emegota nhọ mee lot of media meetings mee sensitization ajụjụ ụmụ nwoke na-ajụ anyị kedu onye ya rapụrụ constituency for nwanyị unu achọ carve out special constituency and carve out for example Enugu bụ 17 LGAs ya ọ ka itinyekwu extra 3 anyị esi ebe wete for nabatara that idea of si welu 3 de sell ụmụ nwanyị so 3 o so 3 and for over 30 years ka a na-eti mụ na-aba mba 35% affirmative action ya bụ n'otu House of Assembly dị fa nwee 24 seats awe na yo so 7 momi 7 na nsiri ike onwedịrị ife anyị na ụmụ nwoke na-azọ ka ọsọ ife culture mere anyị ka anyị na-aya because if not for culture, for example, somebody like my husband cannot say I don't have an intelligent wife at home. But you may notice that a man beyond my husband when he want a similar wife, not two job, you get menezi. Be my wife at home. Take care of the children. I don't want you outside. No, why don't you want her outside? These days, if I social media then. So why are you hiding one young na potential ni no bunime ka no o wele no no where na when that imagine no bona a woman like Chimamanda Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala Obi Ezekwesili Dora Akunyili Joy Ezilo all of them married Mosiamu na difatete one day say anya ka na akadefa. And actually go see him. If you step out of this my house, I divorce you. Him and a lot of women either for her, either known for her. But these men encourage their wives. Obodo mama.
Owebu oyewu ka ha na-atọ ka eje ga akwụkwọ ka gịnị bụ ihe ga-akpata
culture obu n'ọnụ oyibo asị na patriarchy and male chauvinism. Culture bịa magnify ya position n'ugwu ụmụ nwoke o dịka owe dịka na nwaanyị ekwesị ozi itinye ọnụ and ịma na ndị nne nna anyị fa n'elu. I remember my grandfather call him say m ya mejọ mama ya ọnya mama mejọ ya mama ya ọnya with ọkụkọ
gbam.
If I were digide o build a subconscious mindset in us even as anyị webụ ndị nne ịmụ ụmụ na-abụ nke nwoke tọkwa nke nwaanyị bụ second child igwa nke nwaanyị ọ na-azụ ụlọ na-asa afele nke nwoke echuzuru ịsa moto so n'ụtụtụ aha anyị build go mind ha na ife siri ike bụ nke nwoke nke dị soft bụ nke nwaanyị asị asagide moto papa nwee Mercedes na-abụ asagide moto papa m wee nụọ di
ọgbaji ekweghị aka
sagide sa nke my uncle nwere ozi ma ada eje chuo ma mmiri anyị bi n'enu 3-story building anyị chụgide m mmiri so ihe a bụ if we don't allow culture bịazie place ụmụ nwaanyị ebe fa kwesị ifuru ife agwa Senator Natasha I said you don't need to be so loud.
Kedu ihe ọ nọzi ebe ahụ eme na ọ bụ onye emechi ọnụ
o jere ka o jee mechie ọnụ a na-emegbu even achị tọgbu nya mechie ọnụ n'ọbụ nwaanyị. You don't need to think you see. Why would somebody talk about subjugation? Ọ bụ ndị su n'ọnụ oyibo onye a na-emegide isi ya maka ọ bụ nwaanyị and ọkwa ife adịsịrị ụfọdụ ọnọdụ na marriage a na-apịfa na-apịgbu ọsị ya mụnwa na mbe di m ịmụrụ na papa gị tigidekwe m ụnụ nwa tosie bụrụ mmadụ n'ọlụkwa ebe ahụ ị nọ
n'edie
mana ife na-eme na generation anyị bụ na ndị nke generation anyị tigbuzi nwunye fa maka ndị nna anyị fa nwere onye nke nna otigburu
mana o nwere ihe nchọrọ ejigo onyi ọ dị gị ka ụmụ nwaanyị adịgo na nkwadebe n'anya na ọchịchị maka nna niile ịkpa afọ nweghị onye nọ na politiks Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala Joy Obi Ezekwe Joy Ezilo na ọtụtụ ndị ọzọ Chimamanda iwe mbụ na ndị a niile a nọrọ na politiks ha nọ n'akụkụ nke ọzọ emela onwe ha nke ha na-aga n'iru ọ dịghị ka ụmụ nwaanyị anyị enwere ndị ga-eme nwunye na politiks
ọ mkpọọlụ ha afa ụmụ nwaanyị ndị shọ na-abịagodo n'Enugwu a mmejigodo anya m na-alahụ ụla asị m kedu ụmụ nwaanyị tọ anyị na House of Rep ihe m ọfụma mkpọ afọ ebe a ka ọ apị dịka advert mana enwe mmadụ. That's why I'm careful not to call names. maka na mbosi ụmụ nwaanyị chọpụtara na oche abụzi oche fa na ọ bụrụ oche nwaanyị jee tasị afụlụsi ọlụ asị a step down for a man ịma na ihe a bụ the language ọ mgbe m bidoro women support women ka m nọ n'ụwa political languages fabia fancy step down for a man party is supreme. Hey, nnọkọta akọ nsị a kedu ụdịrị akọ ndị a na-akọ akpọghị ya ka meeting as nwaanyị six step down for a man enyekwa efe oye ayenye ọdụkwa happy that even though you're more qualified you step down because you're a woman.
Ojenalụ sọsọ woman leader.
Ke woman leader na-ewe m agwana nge ọtụtụ oge until ụmụ nwaanyị ebido bụwa party chairman okwu katela aka because how can number 6 or number 5 influence decision making? You're not the party chairman, you're not the party secretary. Kedu onye ga-eweta echighari ụmụ nwaanyị na-eti ọ bụ member n'ezie which we need to grow beyond.
Ya bụ na anyị nwe ụmụ nwaanyị ga-amenwe ha na enye ha oche a na ha ga-emete nwe ọfụma
mefeli emefe
dalụri nne
ọ bụrụkwa ya bụ na ụmụ nwaanyị ama nwe challenges ọ bụrụkwa ya bụ na enwere ụmụ nwaanyị adịrọ mma mana ọ dị na nwaanyị dị na nwoke so achọrọ m ka a na-afụ challenges n'ife so ụmụ nwaanyị ka ihe ụmụ nwaanyị achọrọ m ka anyị na-afụ ya ka eso mmadụ
maka na ọ dị na nwoke ka ọ dị na nwaanyị
ọ dị ebe niile.
daalụ rinne tupu anyị a na-ekpokọta okwu anyị onye ma ekene gị maka na ị na-agbọ ọnya akpata eji akpọ gị the voice kee ndụmọdụ ị na-adụ onye na-enene anyị akachacha ndị ahụ ọ dị gị ka ọha ga-eme ka okwu a bịa na mmezu.
ifrọfụ ajụjụ ga-atọ ka maka na obi mmadụ agazi na ya ajụ m ọdụmọdụ ịfụla agwa amaka ịmarụ ha na ị chọrọ ịba n'ọchịchị ebe ọbụla ị nọ na mezie agwa gị ndị mmadụ bụ ihe ya atụrụ gị ọ bụrụ ndị mmụọ o nwere ndị a na-atụrụ vote ya na onye example of onye na-ekwu
gbam
onye ọbụla mezie agwa ya onwe ife dịrị gị na ndị mmadụ mee nye ọfụma onwe ikwesị ime mee emegbu na mmadụ ekọjọ na mmadụ ka anyị jabido meziwe mana ụlọ ọrụ mana chọọchị mana ebe mana afịa onye ọbụla bido kwaziwe onwe especially gị nwa mana ị chọrọ ije n'ọchịchị maka ndị mmadụ ya atụrụ to party maka attrition dị high ihe na-eso bụ name of the person ma ịma na-eche
ma ọdụ nke anyị nye bụ ihe metụta m na-arụ ịkpọrọ afa mana onye ọbụla ma onye a na-ekwu maka ya ọ bụrụ na ị chọọ ịpụta n'ọchịchị akachacha ọ bụrụ na ị bụ nwaanyị mezie agwa gị ka ị dị ka PO onye mkpọrọ afa ịdịka PO ịpụta ịnọ na pati onye ọbụla a na-agba ka ọ tụnyelụ gị akachacha ụmụ nwaanyị onye dịka Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala pụta kịta ka onye na-ama ntụnyere ya dọrọ akụnyere na mmụọ ibie ọ pụta kedu onye ama ntụnyere ya otu a ka ọ dị n'ọtụtụ n'ịkpọrọ afọ apụtahụ na anyị amarọ ndị ga-emenwu ya mana nke kacha mkpa bụ gị nwa bụ onye ga-atụ atụ idokwa njikere ịpụta ka oluo mbọsị ahụ enye gị ego asị gị jee nọla ana ije nọla ana oche a dị anyị mkpa ọ bụ na ọ dịrọ gị mkpa ọ dị nwa mkpa meenụ ka anyị dozie ebe anyị ka ọ dị mma maka echi. Abụ
The heartbeat of culture, truth and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
The soul is part of us that survives every storm. You can't see it, but you can feel it in silence, in longing, in every heartbeat that keeps going. It asks for more than food and fame. It hungers for meaning, for stillness, for the divine. The soul is where music is born, where peace begins, where truth hides. To care for your soul is the greatest act of self-love. For in the end, what we were fades, but what we are at our core remains. Sex is sacred, not shameful. In its truest form, it is more than the body. It is soul speaking to soul, fire woven with trust, vulnerability clothed in consent. But when misused, it breaks more than bodies, it fractures spirits. That is why it must be approached with reverence, not recklessness. Let us teach to love before lust, connection before conquest. For when sex is honored, it becomes not just pleasure, but poetry.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
The soul is part of us that survives every storm. You can't see it, but you can feel it in silence, in longing, in every heartbeat that keeps going. It asks for more than food and fame. It hungers for meaning, for stillness, for the divine. The soul is where music is born, where peace begins, where truth hides. To care for your soul is the greatest act of self-love. For in the end, what we wear fades, but what we are at our core remains. Sex is sacred, not shameful. In its truest form, it is more than the body. It is soul speaking to soul, fire woven with trust, vulnerability clothed in consent. But when misused, it breaks more than bodies, it fractures spirits. That is why it must be approached with reverence, not recklessness. Let us teach to love before lust, connection before conquest. For when sex is honored, it becomes not just pleasure, but poetry.
Am I still okay? The way I'm sitting. Is it okay? This thing is. Good morning, viewers. Thank you for staying with us on Aneke TV. Now, we'll bring you the week in retrospect, where we'll discuss the issues, the major newspaper headlines throughout the week, trending issues, trending topics. Thank you. Stay tuned as we discuss and bring up these issues. Join us in the conversations by reaching out to our social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. So we'll delve into the newspaper headlines, starting from Monday.
You didn't call me in.
All right. We're starting with the Nation newspaper. EFCC, OBJ Library lock horns over arrest of 93 fraud suspects. With me on this program to discuss these issues is an in-house analyst at Aneke TV, Mrs. Chinwe. Ms. Chinwe, good morning.
Thank you very much
It's always a
for
pleasure
welcoming
to
me.
discuss
Looking good this
Thank
morning.
you. Thank God it's weekend.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Ms. Chinwe, we're looking at these issues, EFCC and the OBJ Library through the week.
A lot. There are so many things here. EFCC are saying that they raided the place on a tip-off.
Yes.
The management of the outfit is saying that such shouldn't have happened, knowing fully well that it is a big outfit that houses so many other daughter
the arrest happened in the hotel.
In the hotel.
That is in their
now,
premises, yes.
you know what a hotel is. And meanwhile, there's a function also going on there, which the information about the function was out. So, like, even the police can attest to the fact that they know that such function will be taking place that day. I bet these people are saying that it is a tip. Okay, if you take it the other way, it could actually be a tip-off that are working. Then you take it the other way, this is a social gathering. This is a social outfit that anybody is free to come in and out. And you may not really come and start checking who is who. Meanwhile, this is a hotel. is a hospitality outfit that you may not actually know who and who comes in. Or you know, it's a business. You're running your business.
There's
in
the presidential library.
good.
There. People are free
So
to
many
come.
things, storage center, and the rest of it. So barging into such place without like informing the management, this is what we are about doing, so that maybe they will even be in the know. But no, you did not. They recorded some injuries and the rest of it. So when you, I'm seeing from the two ends. These people are of the view that based on the tip-off that this is the reason why we came. It goes to show that there may be illicit activities that usually goes on there. Now at this tip-off, they felt that this is right opportunity for us to get what we wanted. But those people are saying, in as much as you are doing your job, and our own job is also to protect both the sanity and the lives of people that we are open to welcome, knowing fully well that this function of that magnitude will be taking place at that time.
All right. In order to place everything in perspective, you remember during the week while we were talking about this, we'll try to balance on the issue without taking any sides. As at that time, we were asking EFCC to be sure that the tip-off was a very good one. The whistleblower was reliable and all that. The development now is that EFCC has sued some of the arrested persons presumed to be fraudsters, saying that the remaining suspects will equally be charged to court on a later date. However, the Obasanjo Library has issued a public statement that they will be suing EFCC, that the whole attempt, the whole drama was bent on tarnishing the image of the former president, who is a developing story. We'll look at how we'll keep looking to see how this pans out. So, going to the next newspaper headline, the Vanguard: sugar importation rises as local production falters. Yeah, we'll talk this through the week. We'll talk about this. The Vanguard tells us about the reduction in local production of sugar, that Nigeria is now relying on imports. Farmers raising concerns why they are no longer able to supply refiners of this product, and then we hinge on a lot of issues that are happening, like insecurity in the place. Madam Chinwe?
It's not even about that insecurity of a thing. The story has it that these local farmers are lending their voice out to the public, that government should kind of value what they have. That if with the rates that they are going, they can actually get subsidy. What is it called? Grants from government to help them boost their production. Even improved breeds. It will help them that they have the landmass, they have the capacity, that all they needed is just a grant from the government, improved breeds that will help them to be able to have a massive harvest towards the harvest season. But government isn't paying attention to them. But they will always pay attention to rice producers, farmers, cassava farmers, and other herbal crops. But this sugarcane, it has been where it is. Only people, handful, coming with their trucks, taking it, that's all roadside stuff. They want to see sugarcane production in this country rise to the level such that sugar factories or industries won't have to be importing. Nigeria won't have to be
depend on
importing,
imports.
yeah, but we'll get the local resources from here.
All right.
So that's
All right,
what
all
they're
right.
trying to say.
All right. And in this case, we would advise that we as a nation do everything necessary to encourage our farmers so we increase production, that our production will be able to surpass the consumption in this country, that we don't have to rely on importation. So we'll move on to the next. The Punch. State hit by 68% spike in foreign debt payment. Yes, during the week, this was the major headline in Punch concerning the debt profile and rising of our nation. Most of the revenue that is accrued to the states are being spent, up to the tune of 68% is being spent on servicing debts, not necessarily incurred by the present administration or even the governors that is in these various states at this point in time. They met debts on ground and it has to be serviced. At the office of the Accountant General of the Federation would have to deduct whatever percentage from source before giving the states the remaining one. So in this case, we'll be moving on to the next newspaper headline. The Guardian on Monday said congestion, asset depreciation push HNI's businesses to a Atlantic city. So
Yeah, this place is looking at maybe in Lagos. There's a new layout.
yes,
That's been mapped out.
the Atlantic, yes.
It's similar to what our governor here, Peter Mbawa, is doing already.
Okay.
Called Enugu, New Enugu City.
Okay.
Towards Owo side.
Right.
Now, when you come there,
In Lagos, they say this is the mega city.
when you get there, go and see what the governor is doing as we speak now.
Right, that's
and
commendable.
by time he will be through, the landlords around here will be crying the same cry as what is happening in Lagos now, because what it means, people are now moving from wherever they are,
in the case of Lagos, the big businesses are now relocating.
Of
So
course.
the issue of depreciation on infrastructure,
Assets
heavy
value and all
traffic,
that.
being able to access, commute from one place to the other due to the increase in population
Yeah.
with less infrastructure to support it. So the big businesses are now, everybody is moving to
where they
mega,
have space.
to the mega city,
Yes.
the Eco Atlantic.
At least for now, it is not that congested.
And we are saying, we hope that the Eco Atlantic too will not in future be congested
at this time.
Yes. So we'll go to Tuesday. Let's take a look at the major headlines on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we'll start with a punch. Panic in ADC as EFCC goes after key members. Yes, this was a very major story. EFCC in the news again. From the Obasanjo Library to detaining the former governor of Sokoto State, Alhaji Senator Tambuwal. Yes, questioning him for the huge withdrawal of over 180-something billion in naira.
So why is he coming at this time?
That's the question.
Is it now that he handled the office? Is it now that he stepped out from the office? Why now? That's the question. And that is the reason the opposition ADC said that it's a witch hunt. That is a witch hunt. If not, if it's really on a playing ground that are doing their job, immediately he steps down. They will step in to tell him to come and account for your stewardship for these 8 years. They never did that.
Okay.
They never did that. So why now?
As far as you're concerned, there's a witch hunt?
If that's what you can make out of the statement, that's fine.
No, but I'm looking at it this way, that the long arms of the law, the arms of the law is so long that no matter how long it takes, it can catch up with you. So EFCC is saying that they are doing their job.
How?
It doesn't matter the time. The point here is why withdraw this amount, that the amount is so huge. They are now looking into why the withdrawals.
You know, there was this statement, I hope I'm correct, by Adam Soshimale.
Okay.
He wants all your sins to be forgiven, come to APC. And all this why that it felt or it seems as if they had been quiet or silent over his tenureship or stewardship. He has been with them.
Okay.
Now he has moved to the other side of the divide. So they felt, okay, we kept you quiet and now you felt you can speak up. Let's show you that you can't just speak up. We need to close your mouth. And that is why they are doing this. So for the ADC to say that it is a witch hunt, they are not far from the truth.
All right.
Yes. If not, if they actually want to do their job the right way, the right thing is
they are doing it the right way
because
they've invited him.
Wait now.
According to them, he was unable to give them detailed explanation. They had to detain him.
Let me throw you back to what happened in Anambra State.
Okay.
As soon as Obiano was stepping down,
yes,
even from the almost like from the inauguration ground,
yes,
they took over, and the interrogation and the rest of it continued until he was set free. That is, if he is actually free as at now.
No.
That is the point I am making.
Yeah, I understand the point you're making, but I have to. Let me say, I wouldn't say playing the devil's advocate here, but trying to balance the whole thing from seeing it from both perspective. You're citing the issue of the former governor of Anambra State, Obiano, right? And then I may posit that investigations vary. Some take a longer time, and this could be the case with EFCC. Do you understand? This could be the case with EFCC, taking their time to carry out an investigation.
Mr. Osai.
Yes.
Mr. Osai.
Yes.
The truth remains that if they actually want to do their job, they will do their job.
But they are doing their job.
Of course, they are doing their job. They've invited him, they've detained him, they're interrogating him.
Granted him bail.
That is the question that I posited initially. Why now?
Okay.
At least he wasn't was he the immediate past governor?
He wasn't, but like I told you, some investigations take time.
Okay.
You understand? Some investigations take time. And in this case, I would think, the questions I will ask is, did EFCC follow the right process? Yes, they have, by inviting him. Is this invitation that we heard in the news? They've invited him, they've called him for questioning, and he's been granted bail. You know, when they released him and then he went back to his state, Sokoto, he was welcomed by a normal crowd, you understand? And when he was asked, he said they told him to provide sureties and all that. He told them that he is a known person in the state. He's been a former speaker, he has been a former governor, and a senator. So they can grant him bail on self-recognition, which the EFCC has done. But to bring everything together, is news from the ADC maybe right from their perspective to say that is a witch hunt. Then, looking at it from the other side of the spectrum, we may say that EFCC is just doing their job. But we will say, EFCC, thank you for doing your job. But if it's a witch hunt, then we would ask that you desist from that. But the whole thing should be balanced. If you are going after the opposition, equally look at those at the other divide. It shouldn't be based on political affiliation
and
or those who are on the opposition. If there are people in the ruling party as well who are seen to have diverted public fund to their personal use, they equally should be invited and investigated.
And that's where I want to come in.
Yes.
It simply means that all these are law enforcement agencies. They actually know their job. And they know what they should do and at what time.
And they are doing it.
But it's just that it seems that the powers that be dictates the tune.
Allegedly.
Dictates the tune.
Allegedly. There's no evidence to
and
that.
the pace
Allegedly.
at which they go.
Allegedly. There's no evidence.
At which they
Allegedly.
go.
Allegedly.
All right.
Allegedly. There's no evidence to that.
All right.
We don't know of any interference here. As far as we are concerned,
the point I am making,
have said that they are just doing their job.
Mr. Osai, the point I am making is this. If they are out to do their job, they should do their job no matter whose ox is God.
And they are doing that.
Are you getting it? No matter from the side of the divide you're coming from.
And they are saying,
whether you're in the ruling party, you are in the opposition party, I don't know.
No,
two of us are in this country.
And they are saying,
have you ever seen anybody from the ruling party that has been hijacked by the EFCC?
We've seen that in the past.
No.
We've seen that in the past. Going forward,
we are talking from what happens now. What we are seeing
it's not yet late. That may still happen. You see, Ms. Chinwe, let's not be one-sided on this.
No, I am not being one.
EFCC have come out to say
they are doing their job. I am applauding them. But the point I am trying to make is this:
yes,
EFCC, do your job, and do it there, because there is time for everything. Do the right thing and at the right time. Don't make it seem raise the notion of unnecessary suspicion by people. Don't cause people to start asking unnecessary questions when it shouldn't have played out.
All right.
Yes.
To bring everything together, I think that the statement here is that EFCC is not afraid of what anybody may say in doing their job. And they are doing it when they feel is necessary. Perhaps they have concluded their investigation at this point in time, so they are not scared of what the opposition will say. And I don't think there is a right time to fight corruption. Corruption, you can fight corruption anytime, as long as you have evidence. So our advice to EFCC is that they should be thorough in their investigation. They should not go for sensationalism, and this thing should not be one-sided. It should be any corrupt person, irrespective of political affiliation, should be investigated, and if found wanting, should be prosecuted. And with that, let's look at the next headline. In the Vanguard, armed headers, Boko Haram kill soldiers, others in Benue and Bono.
Yeah. It's heart aching. It's heart aching. Armed headers.
Yes.
I know that before now, even as a growing child, you used to see all these headers. The highest thing they used to go with is that their club, that their stick. They used to hold again across their neck, holding with the two hands from the back.
Okay.
While going peacefully with their cows or their animals. It can comprise of some sheep and the rest of it. So why armed at this time? Why killing soldiers who are there to protect lives and properties? What happened? I'm finding it difficult most times to fix this. Why will armed headers do that? What prompted them to doing it? Like, what led to it? Were they phased off? Even if they were phased off, what made them think that they can actually outdo the soldiers, trained soldiers?
Okay.
Then you begin to see that this will lead to get to a point that issues can never be resolved security-wise in this country. That's how I'm saying this, because it's not, for me, it's not making sense. If the government is putting every arsenal on ground to checkmate the issues of this security, why unnecessarily inflaming it? What happened? I'm just, questions are just, I just want to know.
All right.
Yeah.
So, looking at these headlines, it then means that the president's directive while he was in Benue were either not carried out or were not enough. So at this juncture, call on the federal government, our security forces, to do the needful, increase the kinetic approach, and as well the carrot approach. They should put every measure in place to see that the lives of the citizens are secure, and is most disturbing when our soldiers have to lose their lives in the process.
I am telling you.
We'll call on our national security and the presidency to see to it that this situation is resolved, and resolved quickly, that people are safe in their villages, in their communities. So moving on to the next. The Guardian glitches extortion as police insist. Sorry, I take that again. Glitches, extortions as police insist on new tinted permits shifts deadline. Okay.
Before now, it's been the motorists or road users have been told to acquire licenses for those that are using tinted glasses to acquire that. But I wouldn't know what's led to this one again.
All right.
Please insist on new tinted permits. So
Yeah,
it means that for those of them that has the permit for using tinted glasses, that please overlooks that and still insist on getting a new one. Maybe
what's going on here now is that police has issued a directive. They don't want tinted. There's nothing like tinted permits again. And they don't want anything tinted vehicles and all that. And
so who gave the permit before?
If there has to be, you understand, now they say there's glitches, and the most important thing is that if you needed a permit and you were not able to get one yet due to the glitch, they have extended the time frame, and that's a welcome one. So we'll move to the next.
All right.
Yes, we'll move to the next one. The Nation, EFCC detains Tambuwal over suspicious withdrawal of 189 billion. Just the same issue we saw in the other headline. Moving on to the next one. Yes, we'll move to the next one. The next headline. Yes, Wednesday on the same The Nation newspaper, we had the Amechi, how Fayemi and I began opposition coalition. So in this headline, there's not much meat to it. This former Transport Minister Rotimi Amechi trying to give account to how they started the opposition in what cumulated to the ADC. The coalition we know today as ADC, that it was a discussion that started from a friend's house with Fayemi and himself. But most interestingly is that the media aides to Fayemi has come out to deny that nothing of such happened. And as you know, Fayemi is still in APC. He has not moved to the ADC. He's still with the ruling party, and from what they said, he has no intention of moving yet. And our take during the week was that, for what is what, that we think that what former Minister Amechi and the opposition should occupy us with at this point in time are counter policies to keep the ruling party in check, put them on their toes. Don't tell us about how you people drank tea and had conversations. What we want to see is a viable opposition, so that the government in place will be placed on their toe, double their effort in seeing that the citizenry enjoy the dividends of democracy. So we'll move on to the next one. The Punch, health sector crisis persists despite 5.4 trillion World Bank loans. Yes.
Yeah.
Coming to issue of health. You know, health is really, really important.
Very much
yes.
important.
We've witnessed threats of strike from doctors. We've seen warning strike from nurses, midwives. So,
yes, the doctors are saying that the amount of money the World Bank has loaned us into the health sector is not commensurate with what is on ground. So either that the government isn't telling them the truth, or if they're saying the truth, then there is a diversion somewhere, because they cannot come and tell them that this 5.4 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion naira loan from World Bank into health sector is what has been pumping. Yet that you get to some hospitals, there won't be lights. Lights here, this time we are not even looking at the one supplied by the NEC, National Electricity. We're looking like standby listers that can help in terms of emergency. It won't be there. Some drugs that should be used, you won't find them there. And people that suffer most in this are people that are covered by NHIS. You come there after treating you, those major drugs, they will tell you it is not covered. That is not covered by NIH, that is not covering it. So you have to go and pay. But that's not what they're saying. Is this okay? What about capacity building? What about remuneration? That is why there's this massive outflow of manpower out of this country. That they can't tell me that their colleagues, their counterparts out there, they'll be telling them how much they earn. They decide to stay back, only for them at the end of the day, either they're being owed, or half of it is paid, or even when that this loan most times should cover both their house, car loan, house loan, and the rest of them. They don't have access to it. They said this thing has been made available for them, but they cannot access any one of it. So they need accessibility. They need transparency. They need, if they're telling them this is what it is, they should see it. When you get on ground, you should be able to see this. The facility should be well equipped. So that's the outcry.
Okay. It's important to point out the implications for this. If the doctors are disgruntled and they are not happy, they can offer an efficient and effective service. And what they are saying, they now lack the infrastructure to carry out their duties.
Exactly.
You understand? So, and again, they can't access, or they don't have the means to go for training and retraining. Yes. So, and then this in turn will affect the ordinary person.
The outputs
the ordinary person in the street. That means you can't just assess the needed health care that you may require at a point in time, because there is less drugs in most hospitals, less equipment, and like you mentioned, lights as well. So at this case, we would plead with the authorities, Ministry of Health, to see to it that this will not be the case. We know that they are doing enough, but more is required to see that our doctors are comfortable with the infrastructures they need to carry out their day-to-day activity. A healthy nation will be a productive nation.
Exactly.
Yes. Moving on to the next one. Yes, the story on the Vanguard as of Wednesday. This was a major headline that dominated the week. Ibom air fracas. Comfort begins life at Krikiri. NBA wedding. It's been in the news.
Yeah,
it's been in the news. It's been a major news. Everybody
trendy,
in the country,
and the rest of
yes.
But No, I think we just have to summarize that. So should we need it in any other paper? Let's just move on.
Yeah,
Thank God.
it's been, yes, at least we're happy that the issue seems to be resolved at this point.
At this point,
nobody is talking much about it. The issue of Com1 and all that,
it's been
resolved, and we hope that in future we will see actions like this. Yes, we've called on the airlines to train and retrain their staffs, teach them and train them on emotional intelligence. And again, we'll call on fellow Nigerians as well to know that where your right begins is where your right stops is where another person's own begins. We have to be respectful to each other despite the situation. It shouldn't escalate to the points that we witness in Ibom Air. But thanks to the minister who has moved in fast to resolve the whole situation, despite the fact that some are of the view that the interference is very wrong. But personally, I think I am happy that this issue is resolved.
I'm very much happy that it's been resolved.
It's not left for the Nigerian Aviation, National Authority in Aviation and the Ministry of Aviation to see that we have robust laws that will handle issues like this without it being protracted. The security agencies as well, everybody all hands should be on deck, remembering the issue of Com1, knowing that these were avoidable situations. If the security agencies were able to nip it at the bud, the nation wouldn't have woken up to such headlines. Yes, moving on to the next. The Guardian newspaper, the same or similar headline, like who said that was a major throughout the week. Yes, outrage over Ibom Air incident as IG orders Com1's probe. We've summed everything up about this. It was a major issue, but thank God that it seems everybody is happy and settled, and the nation is moving on from this. Thank you, viewers, for staying with us till this hour. We'll go on a short break. While we return, we'll continue on the headlines. You're still watching The Week in Retrospect on Aneke TV. Thank you for staying with us as we'll continue with the major headlines throughout the week. So we'll go to the next headline. The Guardian newspaper of Thursday. FG to overhaul public finance as bills move for more universities risk rejection.
Just as we discussed during the week, that for me as a person, that's a laudable bill, at this point in the history of our country, we shouldn't be talking about establishing new ones, but to make sure that the ones already existing they have state-of-the-art facility, up-to-date data technical know-how, the manpower involved that are well taken good care of, that will bring up our institution to the limelight. At least they're able to compete with their counterparts in the world over. I think that should be our main headache at this point, and not establishing new ones.
Okay. I'm of the view that we will commend the federal government on this.
Very much.
Yes, for placing a pause for the next 7 years. They won't give new licenses. But this tells us that the president, this government, they know what they are doing. Because before now they've issued new licenses and all that. Then they got to a point they now said it's time to place a stop to it, and then look at how to strengthen what we have. When we were discussing during the week, I was of the view that we don't have enough. We still need more because the population is growing. Once our policy on out of school children is well implemented, we'll have a lot of children coming into these universities, which I am of the view that is not enough. You understand? So we commend this government for taking this step. We see it as a step in the right direction to strengthen the infrastructures on ground. You get to some universities, you look at the hostels where these students, where our undergraduates are living, and is nothing to write home about. Some, they don't have light.
Deplorable.
Say.
Jesus, this state.
You seem to have experienced it recently.
I'm talking out of experience.
Oh, really?
So, I think the right thing is to make sure what we have is good enough to handle the students that are there. Okay. So, in all, why we commend the federal government for taking this step that we think is a step in the right direction, that all attention, all efforts should be geared towards improving what we have on ground. Beyond the infrastructures, the lecturers equally should have access to training and retraining, and then the manpower required should be looked into, be able to evaluate and see that, look at the audit the quality of education as well. Exactly. And if possible, within this period, we should look at perhaps redrawing the curriculum to move our educational system, our university system, away from being job dependent upon graduation, and move it qualification, and see that we produce graduates that will be entrepreneurs, creative, and be able to come out, bring innovations. Because I begin to think, when was the last time we heard about innovations from our universities? Because I know that going abroad, you understand, you see grants based on innovations, and people are assessing these grants. When was the last time we saw new innovations from our universities and our graduates? So we hope that the Federal Ministry of Education, in taking this step, see to it that by the time we get to this 7 years moratorium, that the education system, the university system is well improved, the infrastructures are well improved. Moving on to the next. The punch strike countdown begins as PENCOM Labour disagree. Why are you smiling about this one? I'm smiling because I knew how the discussion was yesterday. it was a heated up stuff here. As we conclude towards our conclusion yesterday, there is a breakdown in communication here between the labor and government.
Yes.
So if only they can hit to their yearnings, which is set up a government board for us that will bridge that gap that we are perceiving.
Yes.
And that's why we became suspicious of every of your move. Is our money safe? Are you sure there's something there? And they don't doing what's best for them with our money.
Okay.
Please, we need transparency, we need accountability, and that cannot happen so long as there is no governing board. It is only the governing board that would have helped us. So that is why they've issued that ultimatum, set the governing board up. If not, we are going on strike.
All right. We hope that Labour doesn't embark on any strike, as that would be very disastrous for the nation. And then we ask the federal government to look into it and see that a governing body is appointed for the agency. PENCOM equally has come out to tell Labour that they should be calm, that there's no cause for worry, that this money is safe, that in fact, that is growing. The baby is alive and is well.
And healthy.
Yes, and healthy. So there shouldn't be hope that this issue is resolved without resorting to strike. Good. This is where we will bring to an end on the major headlines. But before we go, the president is out of the country. He's on another trip.
It should be for our own good.
Yes.
Should be for our own good.
Let's take a rundown. The opposition are saying that the president, being out of the country, has set the record as the most traveled president in the history of the country. That since assuming office over 26 months ago, that he has been away from the country for 181 days. Yes, they say that this trip cumulatively is the 40th since this 26 months that the president has been sworn into office. That is a record, the highest record for any president of the country.
So we are going to put his name in the Guinness Book of Records.
I don't know about putting his name on the Guinness Book of Records. But you know,
where I'm going is this.
That's the opposition.
Okay, that's their stand.
The opposition.
You know,
Yes,
they really, for any democratic setting to thrive, there should be a healthy opposition. That will actually make them to be on their toes. Reason, if we didn't say we are not saying you shouldn't travel. But the point we're making is this: so long as the purpose of traveling is for our own good, so why not? You should go on, travel, and bring goodies back to us. That is what. So if he travels 400 times in 4 years, so long as
I think this president is traveling because he met an economy that's in distress.
That is even where I'm going.
Yes,
that's where he's been. So even if we traveling to see that this economy is stabilized,
and now we're having feelings that the economy is being stabilized. So therefore, that means he's bringing tangible economic gains from his travel.
That's the point I want to make.
So are we saying, even if this guy, are we saying he should travel more?
That's the point I want to make.
Even will say he should travel more, that we are seeing tangible economic gains from his travel. For example, this present trip, he's going to move from Dubai. He will stop over there, then Brazil, to Japan, where he will attend a summit on African economic transformation and innovation through private investments and partnerships. You understand? So it's for the gains of the country. But again, there are those who are of the opinion that why should he be traveling when we have a lot of issues disturbing us at home?
Why not? Who would have done that? If other countries are represented by their president, why would he send his deputy to go and do that? I mean, his vice to go and do that? Why he's there? He should go. The vice should supervise things back here. He will go and bring. At least we are seeing results. It was Okonjo-Iweala that visited the State House the other time, congratulating him in stabilizing the economy. Although she stipulated 1, 2, 3 things that needed to be done and should follow the stability immediately, because without
you wouldn't expect anything less from Okonjo-Iweala, who is a diplomat coming from the World Trade Organization. You wouldn't expect him to come and tell the president your policy is not working as well.
No. I wouldn't. I've not seen Okonjo-Iweala talking from the two sides of her mouth. If there is no stability in the system, she would have said it. But remember, she said, now you have stabilized the economy. That's a plus. Then the growth.
It's time to grow the
It's
economy.
time to grow the economy, because without the stability, the economy won't grow.
All right.
She didn't stop there. She said, now we have to plan on how to cushion the effects of bringing this stability, because it is the people that are paying the price for you trying to stabilize
the most
this.
important thing is making sure that we cushion the effects of this stabilizing the economy.
To feel the impact
when we get to market, the cup of garri will be
come down to what it used to be now.
The price of rice, the price of chicken.
I knew how much I used to buy one bag of rice then. You know.
All right, viewers. Let us know where you stand on this. Are you happy with the president's travelings? Are you like me, who is of the view that the country is experiencing much gains from these travels? Yes, tangible economic gains. Or are you like the opposition, who feels that this president has broken the record, Nigeria record, of the most traveled president that the country has ever witnessed? Let us know what you think, your views on this. Reach us at Aneke TV on our social handles on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Let us know what your opinions are. And at this, we will bring it to a close on the week in retrospect on Aneke TV. Thank you for staying with us.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
The soul is part of us that survives every storm. You can't see it, but you can feel it in silence, in longing, in every heartbeat that keeps going. It asks for more than food and fame. It hungers for meaning, for stillness, for the divine. The soul is where music is born, where peace begins, where truth hides. To care for your soul is the greatest act of self-love. For in the end, what we were fades, but what we are at our core remains.
Hey there, and welcome to another interesting segment of the Arena on Aneke TV. I am Aneke. Today we are diving into a topic that affects every young dreamer, every student and future leader out there, that is mentorship. So let's be honest, we know adulting is really hard, and figuring out life, career, or even purpose can be very overwhelming. But what if you had someone who's been here before, someone who's been there before, someone to show you the ropes, help you avoid the pitfalls, and cheer you on? That's what mentorship is all about. Guidance, support, and wisdom passed down. And guess what? You don't have to figure it out alone. So today on Aneke TV, today on the Arena on Aneke TV, I have with me a very special person who is the communications leader, Center for Memories. In the studio with me today is Mr. Grant Chidozie Mwachi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Amaka.
It's good to have you on the show.
I think I'm happier.
All right, so let's dive in already. In your own opinion, in your words, what would you say mentorship is?
Okay, I think I like how you put it in the introduction, and it says all the things I would have wanted to say. But then I'm also going to chip in a few words, like the name mentorship. I think it's a relationship. Or this time around, is a relationship that wants to help the persons in need develop. So it's a relationship between two persons.
Okay.
One is an experienced person, and the other inexperienced or less experienced. Let's put it that way. So the experienced person is a mentor, the other is a mentee. So in this relationship, the mentor tries to help the other one develop.
Okay.
So it could be development in character, in career, maybe in sports, depending on what the contract is. And most of the time, it's not even a contract. Sometimes it's even passive, and sometimes maybe in recent time, you have not contracted a mentor-mentee relationship with someone, but then you still look up to this person, and this person have a way of helping you figure out all the things you may have questions. Because as a young person or as an inexperienced person, when you're approaching something new, you might find a kind of cloud, and in that cloud you might be lost. Some people drop it and run away. Some people continue because they have somebody that will go all the way with them, and that is the position of a mentor.
Okay, so we'll talk about you right now. So talking about having a mentor and mentorship all together, was there someone in your life who truly changed your path through mentorship?
Yeah, I think I'll answer in different ways. There is someone, and then there are some people.
Okay.
Now, because most of the time you don't get to have one person take you on in this journey. So most times a group of persons, or sometimes someone like you mentioned. So personally, I've had someone at the onset take me through my journey.
Okay.
So first in the list, I'll mention a man that did not come to me as a mentor, but he came as a big brother.
Okay.
Like we started the conversation earlier, sometimes it is not defined. Sometimes it could even be your father, or like I said, a big brother. So the person is Dr. Kelechi Egizo. So most of the time, I used to see him in the church where we go to chapel at Nigerian Christian Hospital. So I liked how he carried himself and how he did things with grace. I did not approach him, rather he approached me and a couple of other young persons. And one thing I saw him do is like he created an opportunity for us to actually grow. So most times you don't go to ask the question, oh, I want to be this, I want to be. You see somebody reaching out, creating that opportunity. Like if you have done the sciences, you would know what they call a petri dish, where microorganisms are cultured. So Dr. Kelechi actually created that petri dish that enhanced my growth and that of other persons in that locality.
Okay, so that's you were in that case you were the mentee.
Yeah.
Now, how about, have you ever been in a position where someone walks up to you and tells you you are my mentor? Have you ever felt that way, like someone walks up to you and say you're my mentor, I want to be like you? How did you feel?
Okay, I think people have said that, and I think they say that when maybe they read something you posted on Medium or maybe on your social media, and when they say that, I feel so happy because at the first thought when you wrote that thing, you didn't know it inspired somebody, and then when it did inspire somebody, it's something to be proud of. So in recent times, people do not even get to meet their mentors in person to even give them a word like you have asked in your question. So most of the time, it is passed through books. It is passed through let's say soft copies of content posted online. So you look at this person often, you like what the person does, like the person speaks to you, the person answers your question, and you may not get to meet that person in a lifetime. So sometimes life has a way of bringing both together, and then you are telling the person for the first time, oh, you are my mentor, I've read this you wrote here, I've read this one, I've watched you do this, and look at what it's helped me achieve. So such relationships exist, and for me, it has been through what I've written, but I've not had a direct person-to-person mentorship yet.
Okay, all right. So let's move over to the real life situation about mentorship. Now, what actually makes mentorship relationship thrive, and what makes it fail? Because there are some people who we have their mentors, and at some point they turn out enemies. I've heard cases where mentees become enemies with their mentors. There are cases where the mentorship, everything just decides to fail, and there are some cases where the relationship thrives. So what makes it thrive and what makes it fail?
Well, I think what makes it thrive and what makes it fail will not be cast in stone. Like other relationships that are not about mentorship, there are things that make them fail, there are things that make them succeed. But then one thing I would say is that most times the mentee may not know what he wants or what she wants. Most times it is the mentor that sees the end, that sees what the mentee at the time cannot see. And sometimes it could be as a result of the character of the mentee. Some mentees want to blow quick. Okay. Like in recent times, you find out that a lot of people do not even want to be mentored. They want to, okay, this content writing is paying now. People are making money in social media now. Oh, let me get a phone and start posting content. Like, they don't really want to have that patience. So most times, I think patience is one of the things that make such relationship fail, because somebody wants to have a shortcut. Somebody wants to make the journey easier, and then at the expense of that, you are causing harm of the lessons you would have taken along the way if you had grown organically. So most times, some mentors are strict disciplinarians. So no matter what you want to do, you cannot bend them. And then for them to maybe make way for you because of your patience, you find it very uneasy, because themselves, they want the best for you, and they need you to take all the time to get the lessons and then thrive later on. So patience is actually one of the things that make such relationships fail, and I think I blame it on the mentees most of the times. So another reason why I may say mentorship relationships fail could also be as a result of the mentor not being steady. People are very occupied these times. You may want something from somebody who maybe this person knows the road, he should show you the road, but then at the end of the day, the person is overtaken by events. He even needs more time for himself, and we see that a lot. So it is just left for the mentee to run along, and sometimes it's frustrating. You are not getting what you want, and maybe running along itself is not very easy. And also, there is selfishness most times. Some people do not want to mentor another. Some people have attained world class. Some other person showed them the role, and then it is now left for them to give back that kind of experience to other people, and you don't see them do that. So sometimes they seize the information. They want to tell you a little and save the best. Maybe you don't. You actually see this man. He doesn't want you to grow. Sometimes mentee found that out, but then most often you don't find mentors that are like that. You always find it on the aspect of the mentees not having the patience to grow than the mentors being selfish. But both of them can happen and cause hardship on the growth of such relationships.
All right. So, a lot of people see mentorship. A lot of people think mentorship just has to do with career goals, right? So, my question now is: can it help in healing or personal development beyond just this is my career path and I need a mentor to guide me through? Is it just about the career path, or or you can get yourself a mentor who helps in healing past trauma, or probably you have this there's a particular personality you want to have. Okay, so it can mentorship also play a role in that part?
I think mentorship plays a role in almost everything.
Okay.
So I don't think we can get actually one individual that embodies everything a younger individual or a less experienced individual would want.
Okay.
So sometimes you might see somebody that embodies all the things you want in football, and maybe when it comes to accounting or being a better father, you don't go to that person to seek such insights. So people can be different things for different people, and I even advise that young people to seek people in this compartment. So, okay, I want this in this area for my career. Okay, I go ahead and seek this. I want so person to help me heal in this. Or I may want to find a psychologist that will help do that better. But then along the line, somehow, if you're building a career, I don't see why someone can just go or excel through that career without having those roadblocks, maybe from previous traumas coming up. You always find that, and most times the mentors are good enough to also provide that healing, because that healing must pop up. Because as a result of a past trauma, you would find somebody not doing what he or she is supposed to do well. So if you are careful enough as a mentor to understudy who you are mentoring or who your mentee is, you will find out that you will ask questions. And when you find it, it's a deal breaker for you, because when you are able to help the person heal, it now becomes the genesis of his excellence in the particular thing you are mentoring the person for. But then, like I said earlier, it is important to seek out mentorship in different compartments of your life.
Okay.
So somebody can be better in giving me this advice, can be better in mentoring me in my career and not in character development.
Okay.
Because some people's character will not be really worth it for you to look up to. But then you see something that person has that can help your career and not character. So you seek that thing he has in the career and allow him grow you. And then for character development, which is also very important for an individual's career success, you can seek that out elsewhere. So you find that people may announce different people as their mentors. Okay. Oh, this is my mentor. The same person comes another day and they, oh, this is also my mentor. So to telling you that there are different things this person has sought from these individuals.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll go on a short break. It will not go anywhere. It's still the arena on Aneke TV with Amakaniji, and with me in the studio is Mr. Grant Chidozie Mwachi, who is a communications lead, Center for Memories. We'll be back.
Welcome to Aneke TV, the heartbeat of culture, truth, and innovation. From breaking news to inspiring documentaries, from grassroots traditions, mysteries of life to global perspectives, we'll tell your stories. We amplify your voice and your vision. With every screen we light up, we connect, inform, and empower. It's more than a television. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
It's still the arena on Aneke TV with Amaka Nichi, and with me in the studio today is Mr. Grant Shedusi Mwachi, who is the Communications Lead Center for Memories right here in Enugu State. And today is one of those days we discuss something very important. Today's one of those days we discuss something really important. Yeah, and the topic for today is mentorship. So moving over to you, Mr. Mwachi. Do you think social media has changed how mentorship works today? Because looking at social media, there are too many things, too many characters, I would say. Right? I was scrolling through social media today and I saw one of those characters, and someone just wrote under the comments, my mentor. I was like, can this type of person be your mentor after saying something like this? So I was like, okay, I think I will talk about this later. Then here you are talking about mentorship. So do you think social media has changed how mentorship works today? Do you think it's for the better, or do you think it's for worse?
Well, if you ask me anything about social media, I will tell you that it's always for the better. Because relating it back to the subject of our discussion, you found that social media has actually enhanced how mentorship works.
Definitely.
So you find somebody, let's say, earlier in my life, I used to listen to a TV show where I used to see a man, Ogbo, Awoke, Ogbo. So I'm not even imagined how I will meet him in person for the first time. But then with the social media, I can send Ogbo a message and Ogbo replies to me. Then other people who are enthusiastic about Ogbo, Awoke can also send the same message. And later, Ogbo will also add us to maybe a broadcast list where he now offers direct mentorship, which we may not get through the TV. Okay. So I think the social media is doing a great job relating people to their mentors. So from what you're saying, you don't know what that person wants, and if that person wants something from that person he saw on social media, then that person can receive the mentorship directly without not so many restrictions.
Okay.
So I actually look at social media as an enhancer. Although there are challenges here and there because of the multiplicity of information.
Yes.
Like people have to read many things. Like somehow you even argue that you actually know what you want from your mentor. Because at 1 minute somebody is fanning a physician, the other minute is a musician, the other minute is a footballer. Like people now like have a lot of things to choose from, and most of the times you see these young people not choose a particular person. So you don't have that in-depth mentorship, like, okay, I want to do this. I want this person to help me align my career, around my vision, my dreams. So you don't get to have that one-to-one mentorship. You are here, you are there, you're with another person, and then that kind of relationship might not really work out the purpose it should. So it now goes beyond social media. It now goes to the individual, to the discipline on how you make choices of things you want than just to flow with the many on the social media.
Okay, earlier we talked about what causes mentorship relationships to fail and to thrive, and you said patience is one of those that causes those relationships to fail. Now, we're looking at a fast-paced world. Everybody wants to get there as quick as possible. Nobody wants to go through the process and stuff. So what role can mentorship play in helping young people navigate today's fast-paced world? How can being mentored help them so they don't get to run faster than themselves? Because that's what I would call it.
All right. I think this is a hard one because most of the young people, I'm talking about young people, I'm also including myself.
Of course.
Most of the young people wants to run fast.
Mm.
So the question is rather to, okay, how to stop somebody who is already running.
Running too fast. Exactly.
Make
Slow
the person
down.
calm down, like
Yeah,
you say.
thank you.
Slow down. So I think is a difficult work for most mentors recently, because even like myself, I also have that rush somehow in different things.
Okay.
But then one thing is sure, that people must understand the process, must understand that this is a transfer of knowledge, so that you don't become world class, and then when you are presenting, you now look half big. And then sometimes you see somebody who have gone through the process,
Yes.
then the person is now at the top. Look at that person, you will see all the attributes, all the ethics being reflected in his or her charisma, the way you carry yourself. Like, you see it all, that I know, oh, this person have gone through the process. You even see it in the performance, like you see the person's dig out more better performances than somebody who is just rushly cooked. So little wonder why, if you look at most of these Islamic states, before somebody presents as their leader, you find out that this person has gone through a lot of knowledge transfer. This person knows why this is an enemy nation, or why we should uphold such values, why we should say no to this. So I think both the intending mentees and then mentors of now should understand how these young ones operate. I will not even advise them to follow them as they are rushing, but then find a way to make them understand what the process is. And most of the time, it's not just about the mentor, because mentorship have been translated into different types. So some are offering direct mentorship, some are hoping on institutions to give that mentorship, like institutions like the church, the schools. So I think it is also in the hands of such institutions to help young men understand that, oh, even though they may not want to hear it at the time, but then with time, somebody grows and then understands why you should not even be a rush thing. There are some things I see now in my own personal life. I pick up the phone and call my father. I'm telling him that, no, now I understand what you said 5 years ago or 7 years ago, because most of the times, at the point an experienced person is telling you something, most times you don't understand, or you feel like you understand, or maybe because you respect that person, you just calm down for that moment. But inside you, you don't understand. It takes some time for you to appreciate that knowledge that person had passed. So most young people are built like that. So that is why they are young, because their blood, their energy, they have a desire to do a lot of things at the same time. But it is also at that point that those energies need to be harnessed and streamlined into the right things.
Okay, so let's take you for example. We know you've gone through mentorship before, right? Now tell us that biggest thing, that biggest lesson you learned from your mentor, and how you were able to apply it in your life.
Okay, so I mentioned one of my mentors earlier, Dr. Kelechi Eguzo. So at the time, Dr. Kelechi Eguzo found me when I was just a schoolboy. So he created opportunities for me to do. So I didn't know that in future he would later be my employer. So while I was working with him, I did not appreciate all the things he did for me. So my eyes was on the money, like every other young person. Like I wanted to know, what will I get out of this? So I'm working. My friends out there are working too. But then I did not remember that I did not even apply for the job I was given. He took me by the one hand. He gave me a position, and then he was also guiding me through it, because I wasn't the most qualified for it. So years later, like when I left the job, I now call, when I discuss with him, I say, Doc, thank you for so thing we did the other time, because I see those learnings come true for me. He was actually suffering at the time we were doing it. So we look at him as someone that allow us stay more time on the job, and then you walk like an elephant, you eat like an ant. But at the time he was doing that, he gave us that opportunity. We were sitting in our parents' houses. we didn't apply for. In fact, we didn't even need a job at the time. But then he gave us that opportunity. So I found out something that almost all the CVs, all the places I had to talk about my experiences, I had to mention all those experiences he gave me first. And he gave me that experience on the platter of gold.
Without paying for it.
I did not pay for it. So at the time, my mind was, the take home pay, which was nothing to write home about.
Wow.
And most time it was delayed.
Okay.
But then I now understand that those experiences are worth more than anything he could have paid me.
Okay.
And I also want to tell other young people that they should give thumbs up to their first employers, their first mentors, because they actually helped build them. Like, they gave them the platform to excel.
Exactly.
And that is what I have to say for Dr. Kelechi Exo.
Okay. All right. So let's take more questions because our time is almost up. So what advice would you give to someone who is afraid of meeting someone they admire for mentorship? They will see their mentor and they're like, I like this person. I really want to be like this person, but I'm scared. How do I do this? So what advice would you give to those young people who are scared of walking up to their mentor to ask for mentorship?
Okay, so before I advise people who want to work out, I will first give the advice to the mentors themselves. So I would like mentors who live in these social media times to provide such opportunities. So I think in recent times you hear about masterclass, you hear about virtual webinars,
Yes.
where people provide opportunities for other people, other inexperienced people, other people who are also climbing the same stairs in their careers, to meet with them. So I advise that the mentors themselves, because of the time we are in, should make that create that opportunity. So let's say you're a social media influencer, and you talk about accountancy. So when at the tail of your post, always drop a link where people can follow for one-on-one mentorship, because you wouldn't know who is watching. And I think a lot of them do it. A lot of people who are well placed, I think they do it. And I think people even come through to do it now in form of foundations. You hear about the what Barack Obama set up, and what even our own Tony Elumelu Foundation. So I think it's a platform where young entrepreneurs are modeled to become like the Tony Elumelu, who is already a success that they look towards to. So I think the burden should be first on the mentors to provide such platform, like to reach out. Okay, I'm a beneficiary of the society. Like you see most parents talk about, during my time, nobody told me this. During my time. So why are they telling us, the children? Because when it happened to them, they didn't find it all rosy. And then they want to provide a better opportunity for their children or people who are coming after them to grow. So I think first is the responsibility of people who are eligible mentors. And then also for young people, I think most young people around, ask me, may not really be courageous enough. So you might be very skilled at different things. I think among all your virtues or your skills, I think the most important of them should be courage. So you may have good communication skill, you might be going well in your particular career or skill, but then you don't have that courage to show up with it. You don't have that courage to meet other people who are in the same line with you. So I think courage is the first virtue they should have. Courage to walk up to somebody, and then I think the worst thing somebody you walk up to can tell you is no. No. So if you just zero it in your mind, okay, I'm going to ask this person for something.
Yes.
It's either a yes or a no. Because if you wanted a yes, you would have gone with a gun and maybe compel the person to do it. But you know that the person could say no.
Yes, of
course. So just have that courage to go ask first, and then the courage to also accept no for an answer. And I bet you that not everybody will tell you no. Somebody might pick interest in what you do, because it's important that mentors understand what those who they are mentoring wants to achieve. In fact, they need to see that person's journey beyond what that person sees for him or herself. So the responsibility is actually a shared one, but I will be put more burden on the mentors to provide that platform.
Okay, and that was quite an interesting one. Mentorship really is a cheat code we didn't know we needed, of course. So big thanks to our guests. Thank you so much, Mr. Chidozie Mwachi. I hope I got that correctly. Chedeze Mwachi. Yeah, who's the communications lead Center for Excellence right here in Enugu State. And thank you so much for also keeping it real and reminding us that growth doesn't happen alone. Whether you're 16 or you are 60, there's always someone you can learn from and someone who can learn from you. So here's the challenge. Find your mentor, be a mentor, and pass it on. Thank you so much for being here with us on the Arena on Aneke TV. My name is Aneke.